The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah. No, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays.
And welcome everyone to Playmakers.
Thanks everybody for coming today. Today we have a very special guest with us, the creator of Veritas Media, Giligin himself. And we're gonna be talking a bit about some very special things today, but one of the topics is about brawling. How do you brawl correctly, right? And I know there's some of you that definitely will love this. I know you brawlers out there will love this, so we'll get into it soon. Before we get started with the rest of the show, though, there's a few small little plugs. One is our server is now fully live. It is now our server VR Playmakers. So if you're interested in continuing this conversation, meeting the rest of the community, we are one of the biggest Echo educational servers around. We have over 500 members, and we've been going strong for a year. Did a bit of a rebrand. Before it was sort of my name and stuff like that, but now me and Doc are co-owners. We now own this together, and this is our joint project, and we are so excited. There's some very major things, and I think we'll plug in like the link to join. The biggest thing that's happening is we have our training events, more geared towards newbie and intermediate players, like how to teach how to regrab, we want a great introduction point where someone that's new to the community can just join, be in a non-toxic community and have fun, and meet good people. And that's the biggest draw of the community, I believe. The second thing, of course, is we're going to have a weekly tournament. We're having Mega Cole is organizing our weekend wreckage, which is randomized teams. It's just for fun. There's sometimes we do some prizes and stuff, but mainly it's for fun. It's randomized teams. Sometimes you get some master tier players on your team. Sometimes you're hanging out with some people who just started learning how to play. It's all a good time. It's just for think of it as just like a mixed crim. It's just a good time, right? So please join us. The link is in the chat already, and we'll be sharing more stuff as we go. There's a few other cool little things that's going to be happening in the server, but overall, just come join us, continue the conversation even after the show. Now, Doc, is there anything else you want to add in before we start talking about our special guest today?
Thank you. Thanks very much, TTao, for doing that. I'm running all the assets today. So, hey, Brickera, my good friend, thank you so much. We will have some of our just a little rough around the edges on the details today, but we're vibing. We got Giligin in the house. He's about to come on, and we'll introduce him in a minute. And then of course we're going to be doing our analysis work. The only one thing I really did want to plug is, of course, Playmakers is about the community. And one of the big things we want to be doing is getting community Echo replay files so that we can analyze those files and help you guys, help all of us learn. So we're bringing in folks from the master tier, diamond tier, folks who have been around the game for a long time, folks who are able to break things down, and we want want your files to help look at that. So today we've got Farsight won the Two Cool Queens giveaway. So we're going to be looking at a file from Farsight, and then I think if we have time, we're also going to be looking at it from Team Woohoo. We've got I think one play we're going to look at that, and so I've got a link here that I'm going to drop in the chat. This is that is not the right file. If you try to go to that file, you will get bounced. Let me give you the non-editable version. So this one here, if you want your video analyzed, if you want your replay analyzed, hit up that form, fill it out, upload the video. Please clip the video. Use the Echo Replay file in-game clip editor. It's very easy to use. It's the little scissors, and it's just a slider bar. So clip it, because that'll reduce the file size, which will be very helpful for us in administration. But in any case, that's the main thing I want to do. And then the sound volume overall, the music. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate that. We'll bump down the sound volume just a little bit. I think T-Tao and Gil wanted to get hype today, and so they were encouraging me to bump it up louder. But actually now every time I click off that, the cameras freeze. So I gotta leave that screen alone. Anyway, T-Tao, please introduce our illustrious guest.
Yes. Now, there's many things to be said for Gil, and I think one of the best thing to say is just a really good dude. That is my best experience with Gil. I think everybody will really enjoy having him on and just, talking with him. He's dancing around. He's getting ready. He's hype. So I think, without further ado, let's bring in our special guest.
Ayo, Gil. Oh, and of course, there he is.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Yeah, welcome.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Right. So let's just talk. Just talk a bit about Echo and about your experience. How's your Echo experience? Whether you get started or now. Why don't you sort of start us off?
Well, I got into VR kind of by accident. I bought a computer that said it was VR ready. I wasn't much of a gamer at the time. And then I realized you can get Minecraft in VR. I thought it'd be kind of neat to check that out. And it's one of the few games that actually makes me sick. So I looked around for other free games, saw Echo Arena, tried it out, thought it was awesome, made some friends, started, eventually started Virtus Media. I worked with Beer League for a long time, or I still do work with Beer League. I was a moderator, governor, board member of VRML for a while, and now I'm back to being a player. I played competitively in the ESL Season 3, and then I played in VRML preseason, Season 1, Season 2, and now this season. So, with Wireless Jacks in VRML early seasons, and now with Yerma. Yeah.
That's how you say the name. Just so anybody else that hears it, that's how you actually say the team name. Cool.
I'm very proud to be playing on Yerma all night long.
Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. All right. So on that topic, as Doc was saying, as long as we don't stay on the jokes. All right. So moving on to that, we'd love to just hear about what really drew you into Echo? I know you sort of got started, you got moved into the competitive scene. Was there any specific moments you were like, wow, this is
I think one of the things, I'm not real big on multiplayer gaming. This is one of the few games that I actually really enjoy. Obviously, you can't play it very, very well single player. But one of the things that really kept me around was the friendships. When I was level 30 something, I met Egret 85, and his name back then was Roman Wolf, I think. They and I were all level 30s together, and we just kind of rose up to 50 together, and then we started playing competitively. Me and Egret did, or Egret, Egret, and then after that it was with Wireless Jacks after ESL. I formed that team, and just, I mean, the guys in Wireless Jacks now, we still play together every week. Cast on this channel, actually, on Mondays at 8. Check it out. But yeah, we play together still because we love hanging out with each other and playing with each other, and that's what really drew me in and kept me around was the friendships that I made. Yeah, I mean, the community is amazing. I mean, my whole life now kind of revolves around Echo and VR and stuff, and it's because of the people that are here. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, no, on the topic, of the community and stuff, I remember you telling me before that you don't really consider yourself a gamer.
Yeah, I was not a gamer until I kind of consider myself a gamer now, sort of, but I wasn't really a gamer before this. I played some games over the years, but I was never like looking at the new releases. I never had any Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. I had none of that. I just had a PC. That's it. And so it wasn't really until I got in with Echo a lot and started, especially through the beer league community, seeing people in there playing different games all the time and joining in on those. Like, that's kind of what made me become more of a gamer, and now I play video games all the time. In fact, I'm my real life job right now, I'm a game tester for Phaser Lock Interactive, which is a VR game development company. So I literally play games all day now.
That's dope.
Awesome. That's really cool. I did not know. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So this is, I'm not sure how often it is in this community where people like don't really play games, but then start playing VR and Echoes. Like, it draws them in.
Yeah.
Someone in chat, my friend Big Rome, he told me, he played on the Game Boy, like the old Game Boy, I don't even know if it was Game Boy Color. And then he's like, now I play Echo. I'm like, did you just skip like 2 decades? Like, what'd you do? It's like, yeah, man, yep. I don't play games. So, since as you're starting sort of Veritas Media and all this VR stuff, like, what do you think is like the big draw of Echo, and why do you think it builds this sort of community?
I think, for one thing, the fact that it's a team sport. I mean, that's the whole game, is a team sport, but also the social lobby is really dynamic, and there's a lot of things to do in the social lobbies. You can just hang out with your friends and mess around with the toys and stuff in the lobbies, and practice your skills there, or just hang out. I mean, I remember one time I was playing with Egret, and he broke his hand while we were playing. He went to stun someone, and he uppercut the corner of his metal desk in real life, and it broke 2 of the bones in the back of his hand. Yeah, so but it was like 11 o'clock at night, and he wasn't going to go to the emergency room, so he was like, I'll just go to the doctor in the morning, it's fine. And we ended up, he couldn't play Echo, he couldn't hardly hold the controller, but we still like just hung out in the lobby for another 3 hours and just hung out. Like, that's what keeps people around, I think, is the social aspect is really awesome. The fact that you're on a team working towards a common goal is really awesome. That helps people feel, wanted, welcome, included, and you make friendships that way, and I think that's really what keeps you around. I mean, the game is designed as a sport, and it's not a combat game where you're trying to murder the other person. It's a sport where at the end you say good game, and then you move on to the next one. Like, it's there's not a whole lot of animosity except for what you bring into the arena yourself.
Speaking of developing friendships, obviously we can't talk about Giligin without talking about Wireless Jacks. I had the pleasure of subbing in for a Wireless Jack there. There you go. Wireless Jack in the house. I know you talked about, like, you play every, I think it's Mondays, right? Mondays at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern.
Yep.
And I know that because I subbed in yesterday for the Jacks. I had a great time. So I played with Venom and Giligin and
Will.
And Will I am. Obviously Blitz was not there, but in any case, it was a lot of fun playing with you guys. I wonder if you could talk about meeting those guys, and then I was just looking up on the VRML website. Jax started off preseason as a bronze team, finished silver in season 1, and then got to master in season 3. So if you could talk about just meeting those guys, and then pulling up, obviously getting to the highest level.
Well, Jack started, it was me and Lemon Cutie, and I was like, hey, you want to form a team? He's like, yeah. I was like, we need a goalie. And he was like, let me talk to this guy I know. named Will, and that was it. And then we found out they were going to be doing 4v4 instead of 3v3 like it used to be. And I think who did we pull in first? Was it Akami? I think it was Akami. Pulled in the Akami, and then Lemon left after preseason. He left to like do college stuff or some IRL crap. Who cares? And we pulled in Blitz, and then Akami left after that season, and then Venom came in for the season 2. So lineup changes, helped us rise, but also just the fact that we were able to keep a consistent lineup through each season. So I mean, me, Will, and Blitz have been there almost since the beginning. Will's been there since the beginning, and we never had any roster changes mid-season, so it was pretty easy to practice together and rise up that way. I mean, we played 5 days a week, and then beer league on Fridays. So it was pretty much a 6-day a week thing with us playing, and we played together 5 days a week. And the off seasons, we didn't really take much breaks, so it was just a lot of playing. I mean, going from start out bronze and then ended up bottom of master by the time we retired we were really happy with that. I mean, the open qualifiers for the end of season 1 was like our greatest moment. It was the first time Venom played with us, and we were team 12, and we made it into the top 8 for the finals competition, and then got mercied almost every game. But we were satisfied to get to the top of master by the time we quit, or at the bottom of master. Just playing together all the time. And the biggest thing about that, I think, is we had good chemistry. I mean, we still play together because we like playing together, and that really helps the team grow. When you like being around each other, you like playing with each other, and you play that consistently, it's pretty easy to grow together.
I mean, I really felt that chemistry. Like, yeah, you guys were just having fun. Like, I think I said it once or twice. Like, yeah, it was just a lot of fun. And we won some rounds and we lost some rounds, but there was just always fun.
Yeah. I mean, half the time when we're in there, our comms aren't even about the game. We're talking about movies while we're throwing the disc around and stuff. Like, we're just there to have fun.
That's cool, man. So, Gil, we're going to be talking about the art of brawling with you.
Yes.
Giligin, known as a stunner in many ways, but definitely in the arena. That's right. I think he was averaging about 25 stuns around last night when we were playing. Obviously, I think that's actually a bit maybe low for Giligin. So anyway, Gil, talk to us about like how you got focused on that. Like, yeah, where's your mindset at with stunning and brawling?
So very early in the game in my Echo career, I realized that I was not very good at shooting. And it took me a really long time to get halfway decent at shooting. But stunning people was fun. And then I heard about Hasko, who at the time was really like the only really well-known bruiser. And I was like, I'm going to take her reputation. That's going to be my reputation. And so I actually saw her in game one time, like one of the first times I met her. And I was like, I'm coming for your reputation. I'm going to be the best bruiser. And she looked at my shield rate and laughed at me. And so that was just like more motivation. I used to tell people that Hasko was my patron saint because I was focused on the brawling aspect of the game more than anything else. My motto was always I punch everyone else on the other team so that my teammates can do the really cool stuff at the other end of the arena.
That's cool.
Sure.
I see Chocolate in the chat saying, if you think about it, stunning is the best meta, counters everything. That's high praise from a player who's known as one of the best regrabbers in the game. Definitely, obviously, stunning is the stack breaker. It's also called stack breaking, right? Or stack breaking is part of brawling, and we're definitely going to be seeing some stack breaking tonight. Gil, I mean, obviously you're looking to brawl a lot, but maybe just talk for a second to Chocolate about like about stack breaking in particular.
It's the greatest joy in the entire game when you can sacrifice your one player person for two of the opponents. Stack breaking is it's my favorite thing to do in the game, honestly. If I can stop your ridiculously fast stack, Chocolate, to, if I can stop you guys from getting down there and harassing my teammates while my teammates are trying to score, that's, I've done my job as a brawler. That's the way I see it. Like, I'm happy to sacrifice my position in the arena in the back line if I can keep 2 of them back and give my team the advantage on numbers.
And we're definitely gonna see that. Yeah, Kara. Yeah, Brakara needs to come on at a later date. We would love to have Kara on as a stunner. Definitely.
He's pretty good.
The one-armed stout on the Echoholics. So yeah. Okay. Let's go now to some tape. And if I'm doing this right, this will just vibe. Like he's just gonna vibe. So here we are. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. So here we are. We have this is from your VRML team Yerma, right? And talk to us. Where does this? Did you say this is versus Starcade? Is that right? Yes.
Starcade has since disbanded, I believe, but they did beat us in this match, which is one of the reasons I kind of picked this match. So I was like, if we're gonna embarrass some people on stream, we might as well pick one where they beat us and then to make them feel a little better, Am I supposed to be seeing that on my screen? Because I don't have that up.
We can pull it up on Twitch. Yeah,
I've got it on Twitch. I don't have it up like on the thing though.
Yeah, I don't know how to show it to you.
Okay, it's fine. I can watch it on Twitch.
Yeah, okay. We can watch it. It'll be just a very, very slight delay. But I mean, when you cast and you talk about the play, by the time you finish talking about it, should be good.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna be floating around, but this first play, let me cue it up here. This first play is gonna be Giligin, and I believe it's a clear. So Giligin is gonna get the disc, clear the disc, give a nice deep clear, and then immediately turn around and stun out and stack break on two following stack while the teammates score on the other side. So first we'll just play it one time through, and then we'll rewind it, and Gil will give us some analysis. So here's the first play. We see Gil in the corner, under pressure, gets the disc out, stunning. Giligin taking out Glass and Princess on the backside. Meanwhile, on the front side, someone else sends it in. So, all right. So that's what happened in the play, and now we're gonna break it down and go a little bit slower for you, and break this down. So, Gil, take us away. What are you thinking with this right now, and how did this play out?
Right there. Okay, so I'm going to get the disc. And I can hear it, if those head positions are correct. Yeah. So I know that there's 2 players right there very close to me, so I have to get rid of it quick. And I also have my teammates in my ear, with the textbook, red. So I figured I might be red. And so I cleared it out, hoping that my teammates have a stack together. And I know that these 2 players are on my butt. So I've either got to stop them from stacking or get a leech, and that shield right there is something that I tell everyone to do all the time. As soon as right before you grab the disc and right after you grab the disc, shield every time, because you're probably going to have someone very, very close to you trying to stun you out. So as soon as I throw it, I shield, and that's where the first stun comes from. And then I hear that, I know that they're stuck with me, so I'm like, yeah, you're here with me now. So I turn around, stun them out a couple times, and I just try to keep the stack back. I mean, I know that I don't have a chance to get down there with a stack partner because I've got 2 enemies on me. So if there was someone trying to get me as a stack partner, then, they're coming into a fight, and I've got to stop them. So I punch them out a couple times, and then, go forward a little bit. So there's the first stun from Glass. She hits my shield, and then I punch out Princess Claire, and that right there is an ideal situation when you're stunning on a stack, is to stagger the stuns like that, because that means one of them's going to come back before the other one, and so they're going to be stuck there even longer, and you just have to deal with one at a time. So that's the whole thought process, I guess. I just got to stop them. I got to keep them back while all 3 of my teammates are down there with a 3v2 advantage. And see, I got the leech on him right there at the end too, so like I would have been able to keep fighting them, and even though they did, you know, eventually get away, I can still call there's no stack, there's no stack, there's no stack, because they're separated. They're floating at 5 meters per second.
So one of the major questions is, as you mentioned, was like staggering the stuns so that they're longer.
Yeah.
And can you talk a bit about like how do you prioritize targets? Like, is it just in the moment? Like, what's the thought process of breaking stacks?
Honestly, like there are absolutely times when, like, this one is a little incidental, like they just happen to show up at that timing. But there are definitely times where if I have a stack that I'm leeched on, I'll punch one and then I'll punch the other on purpose to stagger them and get them separated more. But as far as like knowing when to shield or when to punch, honestly, I don't know why I'm so good at that. I don't know how to tell you. I tend to win these fights because I've done it a lot, but there's no pattern. Like, I don't know when to shield or stun. I tend to, if I'm stuck with someone back there like that, like, shielding is usually a good option because they're gonna think they need to stun you. Or if you can get your shield up first and then they go put their shield up, they're gonna stun you by accident in the process by trying to get their shield up. So honestly, just shielding is really important. Other than that, I don't know how to tell you when to do what, when to punch and when to shield.
When you just said about right now was you're shielding close to them, it sounds like your model's so close to them that when they shield, their hitbox is going to stun themselves out. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, you make this movement to shield, and that's making 2 fists and putting it up. If you're like right there, if, you know, I'm so close to them that when I put my shield up, when they go to put their shield up, they're going to end up stunning my shield on accident, and it's going to stun them out. So if you're real close to someone and you're trying to shield, you get real close to them. You know, you put yourself right next to their head so that they're going to have a hard time shielding too.
Okay. So that's like a technique that I haven't heard much about. Like that's a very good play on the mechanics, right? So is there anything else that comes to your mind when you talk about like anything specific beyond the obvious of like, you know, like shield when they punch when they're open, right? Like, is there anything other? Dance.
If you're that close to someone, and you know that they're going to be fighting you back, you're going to keep them stuck there. Keep moving, because a moving target's harder to hit. Like, grab their body and swing around them, or, you know, back off and then come back at them. It's just, you just got to keep moving. If you sit still, shield. If you don't sit still, then you've got a better chance of not getting hit anyways. So, yeah.
So either shield or dance.
Yeah.
Is there a specific set of dance moves that works really well? Is it the Argentinian tango? Is it salsa? Like, is it just grabbing them, moving around? Like, is there specific movements that you think tends to work better?
The Macarena does really well, because you put your fist up and your fist up, and then, you know, you do a little turn around and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like actually moving, not really. Just trying to try to stay behind them, because then they don't know exactly where you are, so they have to wild swing. So if they're trying to find you, you try to stay behind them, which I don't think is really on display in this clip particularly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you're in a one-on-one with someone, try to stay behind them so they don't know exactly where to hit you.
Stay behind them. Okay. Now, as you were mentioning during this specific sequence, that, you know, even though they got away, you got the leech towards the end, right?
Right there.
Is there a specific way that you like to leech? Is there any anything you can add on, like how to leech correctly?
I think the only way I can answer that is just to try to know what else is going on in the arena. Like, it's not a good idea to just, like, if you can get a leech, it's a good idea to stun them and then get forward. Like, you don't really want to stay with them after you stun them. You want to get that boost of speed off them as well, because then you've not only kept someone back, but you're also going forward to help your teammates. Because there are people in the game who will get high stun counts, and all they do is just leech and stun, leech and stun, leech and stun. And I don't think that's really strategic. The strategy of it comes from knowing when to do this and when to get forward with your teammates. And so if you get a good leech, it's good to stun the back person first, leave them behind, get a ride with the front person for another second or two to get them some distance from their stack partner, then punch them out but like punch them as you're boosting through them so that they're stopped, but you get the boost and speed off of them.
Now, this is something I see really common, especially at lower levels. Especially when someone leeches, they'll stun, stop all momentum, and then pull off. So what I'm hearing from you is that you want to pull off, get that speed, and stun on the way out.
Yeah, basically you either pull yourself so that your fist goes through their head, or just kind of slap them, backhand them on the way back or on the way out.
Okay. So pull through, hand forward, or pull around and smack them on the way out.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we might be able to see some of those, as you mentioned, like being on their back in the next clip that we're going to see. But is there anything else, Doc? Is there anything else you want to add or talk about during this clip?
No, I think we're good on this. Just checking the chat. Yeah, looks like people are big fan. EJP, big fan of the stun and throw myself forward. Yeah. I think we're definitely going to see that here in just a second. So this next clip is going to be from the same game, but round 2 and 5 minutes and 24 seconds. So let me cue this up. If you don't know, maybe T-Tao, if you could drop the link to the Echo Replay Viewer. Echopedia.gg/wiki/replay viewer. And this is the tool that we're using. If you don't know this tool, you should. It's an amazing tool, and it's totally free. It's now available in the Oculus Store, and it's developed by Sneaky Evil, I think, originally, along with Zenith, NTS Franz, and some other folks. You'll see from the link that T-Tao is dropping, or T-Tao drop. Yep. So definitely want to support this community-run thing. It's totally open source, and it's just a really cool tool, as you can see. So.
Something I want to point out about this match in particular as well. This was a VRML record, possibly an Echo Arena record for the most amount of females in a single game. My team was half female, half male. Me and Roman were the only dudes in this game, and not only because Starcade was all female, and then 2 of the players in for Yerma were female, and then we also had Psychotic and I think Athena casting, so it was female casters too. So it was just like,
wow,
for a game that's we've been trying to really support women in gaming. Actually check out VR Girls League every Sunday at 9 p.m. hosted by Psychotic on this channel. It's all girls, all ladies. So that was a really cool feature of this match in particular. We got a lot of hype for it because of that. So it was nice to see like women outnumbering the men for this game.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Queen, for confirming that it was Athena and Sai casting this match.
That's awesome. Could say a lot about that. I know we had our premiere show on International Women's Day, so that was cool.
Nice.
And yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll just say this: if you don't have someone that you're close to, who's female, who's a gamer, reach out to someone who is. Just ask. I mean, I played on my partner's account. Her name is Liz, the developer. Her gamer tag. And like sometimes I'll be muted, and people would just come up to me, and they treat me completely differently with the Liz the developer gamer tag than with the DocEducation gamer tag. And I would just like be quiet and like listen in, like see what they had to say before I would say anything, and then I would say with like my Doc voice, and you could palpably hear the wheels turning in their head about what the interaction was. And so anyway, I want to give a shout out to there's Liz. Liz is in the chat. So anyway, don't need to dwell on that too much, but it's definitely a different experience. In sometimes not the greatest of ways. Okay. So in this one, we're gonna see Gil come through. Gil is gonna get a. I think Gil is gonna actually send the disc in, and this time Gil is gonna stun like I think the entire team, and end up stunning the goalie while Yerma scores. So let's watch this in full play. There's been a clear onto the orange side, and so that is the Yerma side. Gil is in orange. Giligin is here, and we'll actually watch this. Beautiful new feature that I asked for from NTS Franz, and we have it here. So big shout out from Franz and
awesome.
And the Replay Viewer team. Okay, here we go. Gil's gonna come through. Let's watch the stunning action. Gil comes through, gets the stun out on Brook. Brookie and Glass are already broken up. Gil sends it back to the stack and is immediately stunning. Hits out Glass, is going for Brook. Now leeches, stuns one, stuns the other, comes through, gets the stun out on the goalie. Easy finish. Wow. Giligin showing
all I
off
like to do.
Incredible skills on this play.
Thank you.
So anyway, Gil,
So, yeah,
take us through. What are you thinking all throughout?
Well, all right, back at the start here. Can you zoom in on me and I think my partner there, Skittles? Yeah, okay. So, I don't remember, so she was going forward and I split off, stunned them on the way through, got the disc. I knew that my two other teammates were in goal, so I knew that was a good place to send it because I could see the other, I knew where the enemy was too. I could tell that they were behind me, but they were stunned out, but that it wouldn't be long before they were back on me. So when I got the disc, I knew that Rowan was there. I knew that Chill Out was, back there as well, so I knew I could reset the disc to them, which I think is what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Want a little bit of delay. Can you move forward a little more?
Yeah, you do. You've got the disc, and then you send it back to the goal.
Yeah. Okay, so I sent it back to them, and then did the shield go up? I didn't put the shield up. I grabbed the block, and then I turned and see their stack is there, which I knew they probably would be very soon because they're gonna come after the disc, and I'm the one that had it. So I get the one stun. I go after the other one. And I know that my stack partner is not very close to me, but I've got two people on their team back here with me. So again, my thought process is I have to stop the stack. I got to sacrifice myself so that my teammates can have a better numbers advantage. Didn't get any stuns there, but I did get the leech. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where you come through, you get the stun on one, and then you let the other one go forward a little more before you give them the other stun, because that separates them more, makes it harder for them to get back together, but also gave me that boost of speed, which I then used to go stun out the goalie at really high speed. There was probably no way for them to know that I was coming in that fast.
We're watching.
Can you check my speed right now?
Speed right now, by the way, everyone.
Yeah. Is there a way for you to see how fast I was moving in that moment when I hit the goalie?
I can. Let me. So, let's see what you get once you're. Looks like you're gonna be about 22. Yeah, about 20 meters a second.
So that's at that speed, whoever that is, who's number 13, I don't know who that is, back there with the disc. Like, I was probably calling that I was coming in, but moving that fast, that's a hard pass to make, and they were open, so it wasn't necessary for them to send it. But at the same time, if I remember correctly, they saw me coming in and had the patience or the state of mind to know if they just wait another half second, I'll be there and I'll mess with the goalie. And so I got that stun off, and that was a series of stuns where I not only kept the stack back and away from my teammates, let Roman get there with fairly uncontested to get that disc, and then I came in and for the cherry on top, got the goalie out for that clean shot.
That was pretty sweet. That's pretty slick.
So, a few questions on that. You were talking about delaying stunning the second person in the stack so they're farther apart.
Yeah.
So it sounds like whoever you're grabbing, you don't want to stun them. You want to stun the person that's on them. Is that correct? Or how do you decide this?
Well, a lot of times, like if they're moving, if they're stacking pretty fast, it's kind of, I don't know who I'm going to get first. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to pull off and stun one, and then I'll be moving the same speed as the other one. And so then it's not that hard to just kind of float over, grab them, and then wait a couple seconds and then hit them. You know, but you definitely want to separate them. You want to give them that distance between each other, that delay. Like it's going to take them a second to realize that their stack is broke, because there's a comms delay because of the latency of the internet. So you have a little bit of time before they even realize that you're an enemy. So they're probably not going to shield. They're probably going to still think they've got their partner on them. And so you let them sit for a second and then punch them when they're that far apart from each other. It's going to take them several seconds to get back together, if they even do get back together before the goal happens. And in this case, they probably didn't. And I see that Skittles is there waiting for me on the station block. I probably was either aware she was there, but decided that this was the better strategy, was to stop this stack, or else I just didn't see her and didn't hear the calls because I was too focused on stopping this stack anyways. So unfortunately, I did leave her behind, and that's the unfortunate thing. Like if I had messed this up, and see Skittles did grab, but she got stunned out. Yeah. But if I had messed this up, then I would have left my teammate behind, and that wouldn't be good. But I was able to pull this off and give my team a big advantage here.
One thing I noticed, Gil, just like as far as technique goes, is you jump off, you grab onto Brookie, who is initially the back player. Brookie pulls through Glass, but then on the second pull through, that's when you stun out Glass. So you actually, it looks like you're waiting. You're by knowing that you're holding on to the backline player. Then when you push through to stun the other person, like you can't get it the first time because you're too early. So then Glass pulls, but then on the second pull, you can stun out that next person and maintain your grip on the same person you're grabbing. So you'll continue to shoot forward because they've already re-grabbed, and then you wait for them to separate, and then you stun, or then you throw yourself off first, and then you stun after you've thrown yourself off, and then you're flying. Is that kind of your thinking?
If I have the presence of mind to think that in the moment, it would be my thinking. I'm not sure how. I mean, this is all so fast in real time, and the adrenaline's high. I don't know if I'm actually know who I'm grabbing at the moment. But yeah, if you have the time or the state of mind to think about that, then that is absolutely what you would want to do.
So you grab onto one player, and then as they're pulling through the other player, that's when you stun the player you're not grabbing, and then that way you maintain hold on the person who's moving.
Yes.
What I'm actually hearing though is that
can you show the side this stun on this first stack? Can you show it from the side?
Yeah. When you first stun, or
this, like when I stun the stack here. Not the beginning.
Oh. The second time.
Yeah. When I get the leech.
Yeah. Okay. It's coming through. I'm gonna put it at 1/8 speed. You want to see it from which side? From this side?
Either way, just kind of close and from the side, so I can get a. Because if I'm not mistaken, it looked like I might have actually let go of Brookie McGee and then re-grabbed onto her. I'm not sure.
It's hard to tell. Sometimes with the replay,
it is hard to tell.
It's not as clear.
So look, yeah. So I came forward on Brookie McGee. I might not actually be holding her yet, and then I grab her, and so I might have actually thrown myself off, stunned the first one, and then because I was going at the same speed as the other one, that's how I was able to reconnect to him. I'm not sure. That was a few weeks ago, but yeah. Ideally, you want to hit the person in the back first, so that you can get that extra.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing as one of the main points though is when you're leeching on somebody and to get that stun, always pull off first, then stun. That's what I'm hearing. Like the major. Get that speed first, right? And if they're stacking, if you get that speed and there is a stack, even if you stun one, you're going at the same speed as the other guy because they just pulled as well. Then you grab them, just rinse and repeat again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you. I mean, that's one of those things. Like, you don't have to get the extra speed off of them, but like, why would you not? You know.
Get the extra speed on leech. So, if I understood, sort of like I'm trying to, I wrote down some notes in terms of what you're talking about in terms of brawling. And I want to make sure like I understand things correctly, right? The biggest like some of the biggest things that I'm hearing about is what we just talked about, right? Get the extra speed on the stun, right? And I'm also hearing that when you're shielding, you want to shield close to them so that when they're about to shield, they knock themselves out on the way in, right?
Right.
If you're not shielding or it's on cooldown, for example, you want to start dancing around them, ideally staying on their back. So then, then they have to do some weird motions to try to stun you, and maybe they can't even do that.
Yes.
Okay. And then also in terms of just breaking stacks in general, is that if you stagger the stun delays, or even delay how far they are once you break up the stack, that's going to increase the amount of time it takes for them to get back together. So you're not trying to stun both at the exact same time. You're trying to stagger it slightly. Correct?
Right. Especially if you can get them split up. That just adds more time where the enemy doesn't have a stack to harass your teammates with. And if they're both close to you and you're not necessarily breaking up a stack, but you're keeping them from stacking, then you want to stagger the stun so that you only have to deal with one person at a time. And because even if they get you knocked out, they still have to wait a couple seconds for their partner to come back.
So on this topic of working this skill, and you mentioned how it's almost like in my mind, it's like unconscious competence, right? It's like you've just been doing it for a while and you know how to do it. It's not like you're thinking the moment, okay, I got to punch left, now I got to duck, right? It's like there is a flow to it, right? So how does someone build that? Is there any drills? Is there anything they keep in mind while they play pubs? Like how does someone build that game sense to be able to brawl better?
I've never done any brawling drills, but one of the things that I guess you could call this a drill. Essend and I, back when Wireless Jacks, we used to play Team Nova all the time, which was Venom's team at the time, and Essend was on that team, and he and I a lot of times would get on either side of the bow tie and we would just brawl each other. Like before the match started, we would get in there and just crab around the bow tie block and try to stun each other, and it makes you giggle, it makes you hot, it definitely warms you up for the game. But it's if you need a stack, or if you need a brawling drill that you can do with a partner, that's a good one. Just both of you stick on one piece of geo. The bow tie is a good one because it's got a lot of different areas you can crawl around to, and then just that's one way to practice, when maybe is the best time to shield, when's the best time to throw that punch, and when's the best time to just back up. Sometimes you just have to get out of their way and then go at them when they, have already swung. As far as playing pubs and stuff like that, I mean, just if you see a stack, try to get on there and shut them down. I mean, I don't really know what to tell people to practice brawling other than to just do it. It's not something I really practice. It's just something I was like, I'm going to become a brawler. And so that was what I focused on for a long time. It's not so much what I focus on anymore. But when I can get those moments like that, because I focused on it for so long, that I can usually win that fight. Not all the time, but more often than not.
And Gil, one of the things I'm hearing from you is just how much you love brawling.
It's so much fun.
In the first clip, you said something like you heard two people and you were just like, oh, you're in my house now. Like, I get the sense in this clip, like when you see this stack coming over, I'm gonna get rid of this disc and then I'm going straight to Brawl Town. Yeah,
I'm gonna shut the stack down. I'm gonna let my people get to the disc and I'm gonna give them a numbers advantage. That's what I love about it. I like the fight. I'm not even. Everyone always asks me like, why are you so angry? What are you trying to, what are you trying to fight so much for? And I'm like, I'm really not that angry. And it's probably because I punch people all the time in games.
What I'm also hearing is, as you're brawling, the purpose of the brawl is to give numbers advantage to the team, right?
Yeah.
Do you often brawl 1v1 with someone if they don't have disc?
No. I like if I'm stuck in backline with them and I have to get away from them, then it's necessary. But like I try not to do any like. A lot of people think that I do this, but I think it's just because I'm always punching people. But I try not to stick with one person. especially if I'm on defense, I'll try to stick near them, but I don't do the toe grabbing thing. I don't do that. And just 1v1s don't really give anyone an advantage very often. They can if your team is pushing the bubble, but one-on-ones, it takes you out of the game and it takes the other person out of the game. So it's not really an advantage at that point. Where the advantage comes from is like this, where I can take 2 people out for myself. That's 1 for my team, but it's 2 for their team. And so that gives my team the numbers advantage.
I'm hearing you.
Just brawling in general, it tends to make people irritated, especially when they get stunned a lot. So it also works for the head game.
For sure. So, I'm trying to sort of summarize this, just so like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think in my mind, like, like if I were to, like what we're gonna be talking about community in a second. It's like, what are the guidelines? You're talking about the art of brawling. What are the main pillars, the main tenets of it? And I'm hearing one of them is like your job with the brawl is to try to take out multiple people so that you have numbers advantage. And I remember even before, especially during that second analysis, you're getting that leech and then you're going in and stunning the goalie. So not only are you taking out 2 of them, then you're bringing yourself back into play. So you even have more of a numbers advantage. It's not just taking out 2, you're adding +1 again, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk a bit more about how number advantages work? Like, I know some people don't even know the term of what that means. Can you explain that a bit?
Yeah, my team actually, we use a call that we learned from Essend, from team back in the Team Nova days. We call numbers. That's a call we make when we are on one side of the arena and we are on the attack. If we have more people forward towards the goal than their team, we're gonna push the goal because we have the numbers advantage. So we'll call numbers, and that means everyone push in because it's time to attack. In this game, which it kind of favors offense anyways because of just the way the game is. Anytime you can get an advantage on offense, it's going to be really good. And a numbers advantage, when you can put more of your players into play than they have, that's going to be really favorable for your team. And so if I can take out a stack back there and then punch the goalie, that's three players on their team that are not doing anything, whereas my people are pushing the disc and scoring the goal. To me, brawling is I mean, sometimes you just got to get away from people, but to me, brawling is all about how can I give my teammates the advantage. And a lot of times, even when we're all pushing bubble, sometimes I will just jump down and I'll stop looking for the pass and I'll just start stunning out the defenders to try to give my teammates a lane into the bubble. So it's to me, it's a support role. The brawler is not the glory until the end of the game when the casters call out how many, oh my god, he's got so many stuns. But in the moment, it's about how can I help my teammate by taking out the other teammates.
Sure.
Or the other team's teammates.
Yeah. So I'm hearing brawling is it's not
so
just
cool. This is so special. Yeah, thank you for showing it. I mean, I've been watching this play like 25 times now, and it's still just like how much joy I'm getting. I can't imagine what you were thinking as you punched 1-2 and then like knocked out the goalie and like saw your teammate slam it in.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm at this point, I'm probably also calling out. They've got no stack. To let my teammates know they've got time. Thank you, Lit. That's chill out in the chat. That's one of my teammates, and Queen Cap is my captain. So they're watching plays from our team here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so a support role, stagger them. Now, a question that I'm having for you is how, as we're talking about number advantage as well, this is something that I first heard from Sir Dimwee when you're talking about counting the advantage, right? He talks about in his video of like his 3-man meta is like the goalie counts as half a person instead of a full. So they get like, so if they have 2 defenders and a goalie, it's a 2.5. If you have 3 people, you have numbers advantage, even though you have the same number of people on the field. Is that what you're talking about as well? Okay.
Yeah, because in that situation, the goalie is stuck to the goal. They're not going to be trying to. Most of the time, you can pretty much guarantee they're going to be in or around the goal. So they're not going to be out there covering one of your teammates. So if you can attack with the same number of people that they have a goalie. So your team has a slight numbers advantage in that, because that goalie's not going to be very mobile, whereas all 4 of your people can move around. So yeah, so if I can stun that stack out, then this not just becomes a 3v2, it kind of becomes a 3v1.5. And then I can come in and stun the goalie, and that makes that half down to just a 3v1.
Okay. So this gives a lot of thought in terms of like leeching, how to do it correctly, and all that. Doc, do you have any thoughts and inputs on this play that we're analyzing?
I mean, this is great. Yeah, I'm just having a blast, and yeah, I think we should maybe head to our little halftime break now.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add in, Gil, before we head to our break?
Brawling is awesome, but it's not about how high your number count can get. That's what a lot of people get confused. It's fun to brag about how high numbers you can get, but I mean, breaking 100 is neat, but how did you do it? Did you give your team advantage, or were you leeching on someone's toes the whole time? Because there's a big difference in strategy there, and one of them is bad strategy, and the other one is good strategy.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm writing down that timestamp. 100%. I'll flip that later. All right. I think this is good. Let's head into our break. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back in 5 minutes. We're going to take a look at community play. We got Farsight, and we also have a team from EU that we're going to be taking a look at, getting some feedback from Gil on those plays.
But first, when we return, it's the Steez of the Week. All right.
All right. We have a great play coming up. This is talking about stunning. This play will be good. This is a great lead-in. All right, see you guys in 5 minutes.
Alrighty, welcome back, everyone. Woo! Now it is time for the Steez of the Week. This play is Isolate in goal, and Isolate is going to get a beautiful shield off on Kung here, exactly as he makes the save and kick it out. Let me kick this up to full speed so you guys can enjoy this in real time. But if you notice, he gets the stun out on Kung and the save at the same time. Let's watch that one more time. Isolate in goal. Shield on. Oh, what a save! Off the backboard, Isolate. Kung trying to do damage to the goalie, but Isolate just too good. That is some steez. All right, thanks for indulging me, T-Tao, on that.
100%. Yeah. Whatever you want to call it, homie. Like, what we gotta do is, as Playmakers gets more popular, we're gonna have Doc get like Steez of the Week, just like Steez, just tattooed like right under his rib cage, right here, like this. Steez.
Oh man, that's just too much fun. It's too much fun.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. All right, we're moving on to our community VOD section, which is we're taking a look at gameplay submitted by viewers like you guys, and we're gonna get some feedback from Gil and from our hosts. Now, this is a great time to let you know that we're looking for more clips for next week and for some coming up shows. So please, let's drop that form into chat again. Please fill that out, join us, and we would love to feature you guys on our show. Now, this first play is from Farsight. Let's have once Doc is ready, we'll go ahead and run that play. We'll watch it together, see sort of what's going on. Doc will do some call outs, and then we'll have Gil sort of like, I'll sort of break it down. We'll get Gil's input in this, and then we'll sort of like talk a bit about, you know, the whole match in general. It'll just be a good time. We'll be focusing on mainly, you know, how the team can improve, what they can do better, and also what they're doing well already.
So, all right, I have never seen this play, so this is an original Doc reaction call out. Farside with the disc on the bow tie under pressure, gets the disc off, gets stunned out. Farsight delivers it down low though. Disc is bouncing up. It looks like the blue team, Biscuiteers, are moving up. Now we have a pass over to the left side. This is Cravens. Delivers it to the open player, Crazy to the Nest. Nest gets stunned out. Farsight gets hammered. Inversion and a beautiful clear. Now the stacks are on. It's a race. All four players flying in. It looks like it's going to be WKZ getting there first. Paradox in the area. Paradox getting stunned out. Cravens clearing it out, but not quite good enough. Is that where we wanted to go to? Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That was the play, right? The initial play that I went through this VOD and sort of picked out some moments. I was like, okay, what can we look at for this team? And that initial sequence of those passes and setting up for bubble offense is what I really want to get feedback from Gil on. So as you can see, Farsight, I believe, has disc on next to their double diamond, right? Passes down low, and there's some really amazing passes, right? It's on point, it gets through, and then they're getting ready for bubble offense, but they didn't. They ended up getting caught on nests. So I just wanted to hear from Gil, what are your thoughts about this setup, this bubble offense? What they're doing well, what they can do better.
Setup was nice. I noticed that the bruising played a big role in this one. Someone on the nest. Can you get to that nest stun?
Yeah, we should go in a little bit. Yeah, he's moving up.
Yeah, the positioning here is good. They're spread out. They've got a lot of open passing lanes. But see, the Haunted Paradox came from below the nest and came up and stunned them. That's a really good sneaky way to get to the defender. They came up from boot, climbed the shield, and got to that nest there to knock them out. But the passing here, the passing is on point. There's no way that Farsight could have known that player was about to be there to stun them. And then they're stacking. They got stacked together really fast to get back down after that happened. But yeah, just the positioning here is really good. You got one high, you got one low, you got one mid, you got on opposite ends of the. Can you flip it around so I can see where the other player is? Where's their fourth? I see 1, 2. Okay, down low right. Yeah, so you've got down low right, down low left, one up in the center, and then the person coming in from the side. That's really good spread out positioning. You're gonna have to. Yeah, that leaves you a lot of different passing lanes, and the passes are on point. So I like the spread out here. It separates so that you got, even if they are running a stack defense, then it's gonna take a few seconds for the stacks to get to you if they come after you, if they're doing man defense, then you're spreading their defense thin. So one good shield or one good punch will take that defender out and give you all the advantage with the one person not being defended there. So positioning looks great. I think that's a really good spread for options for that person with the disc to pass to.
So what I'm hearing is when you're setting up for bubble offense, I'm hearing you have them spread out enough that the stack's gonna take some time to hit every single person, and you also want to separate on different halves of the field. That's what I'm hearing. Is that about right, Gil?
Yeah, not just halves horizontally, but halves vertically too. They got the one on the floor, they got the one on the floor, and they got the one up top at nest too. So use that 3D space. They're spread out on left to right as well as top to bottom.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's a good solid spread for passing options, keeping lanes open.
Well,
one of the
things I notice here is this pass from Crazy Boy. Crazy Boy is the open player. There's no one within a country mile of Crazy Boy. And they get the disc, and the spacing is good. But then once they move up, notice how basically all of the players move up directly into contact with defenders. So Farsight is on the bow tie right now, and I don't know whoever this is on the floor, Cravens, I think. They both have a little bit of space between their defenders. Farsight obviously has a lot more, but Crazy Boy has no one around them. Obviously, there's the goalie, and then there's this defender here. So basically, right now players are kind of open. But as the play progresses, immediately Farsight becomes a lot closer to their defender, and that's where the disc goes. So even though this is a nice striking position and obviously a good scoring position, right now the more open player is over here on the floor. I think that's Craving Cravens, or Crazy Boy's actually not under any pressure themselves. This player, WKZ, still a decent way across, and so Crazy Boy could actually take the disc to the bow tie and then make a decision about where to send it from there. So if you notice here, Crazy Boy gets the disc, and if instead of passing it, they had just gone to bow tie like they end up doing, obviously WKZ splits off to go toward the disc, but even if they hadn't, they could have held it, and then maybe here, like if WKZ is guarding Crazy Boy and whoever this is guarding Farsight, then this player down here is wide open.
I would be fairly confident in saying that the comms from Farsight probably said I'm open on Nest, and that because when who throws the disc?
Crazy Boy throws.
Crazy Boy throws the disc. Look, back it up a little bit and see how little time Crazy Boy spends with the disc in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they're hearing I'm open at Nest and they get the disc and then they almost immediately pass it, I'm willing to bet, especially with that player coming up from boot to get to Nest that fast, I'm willing to bet that Farsight definitely thought they were open. Crazy Boy believed them and probably didn't see that player coming up behind shield to hit them because they come up so fast. So it was probably, not a bad play, but it was better defense in that moment.
Sure. So this is something that's not on this specific play because I was watching the VOD. As you can tell with Crazy Boy, when he gets disc, he didn't have too much time with it. But oftentimes for this team specifically during some of the VODs is when they had the reset, they would pass before they pull out a defender, which sort of ties into what Gil was talking before about having numbers advantage, which is if you just pass it forward and they have 3 defenders, you have 3 attackers, and they have a goalie, it's actually a bad bubble. Even though you got the pass off, your reset touched the disc, but if your reset doesn't draw somebody out, then you're not actually getting the full numbers advantage that you should be getting on a good reset. So
good reset has... Go for it. Sorry.
No, my question was actually for Gil is, what do you consider a good reset?
Well, for me, resetting is about 2 things. It's about controlling the disc and it's about controlling the defense. If everyone's getting scrambled, stuns are going out, the disc keeps changing hands, no one's really got a solid grab on it, reset it, get it out, and then what you need to do then, if you're in the bubble, is reposition yourself to get a play set up to run. And then the person with the disc on that reset position should wait until a defender comes out after them. Like, you don't want to wait 6 minutes, that's boring. This is a sport, let's go. But, if you can push forward a little bit, maybe to bow tie and have someone, have a defense player jump out at you, they just gave you numbers advantage. So that's when you want to throw it in and attack the goal. You never want to attack if you don't have numbers advantage. I shouldn't say never. You rarely want to attack if you don't have numbers advantage, and a good reset is going to give you both the mental reset, and it's also going to give you numbers advantage if it's done well, especially if they send a stack at you. If I'm the reset person and you send a stack at me, that's my favorite thing ever, because I'm going to stun your stack, taking 2 of your players out, and my team is going to have that pass in for the 3v2 at that point, 1.5.
One of the things I notice here, WKZ does a really good job on defense. It looks like they are the one pressuring the disc, and if you notice, they actually end up guarding 2 people and forcing 2 passes on this play. So they push Craving, and then as soon as they see that, they immediately push Crazy. And so they jump over and then force that pass, which ends up being the turnover. Maybe if WKZ is not there adding pressure on Crazy, maybe Crazy doesn't make that pass and can go to bow tie. So really nice work by WKZ to make that pass and then immediately make the cut over and add pressure elsewhere.
And look at the blue player on the floor by the light there, right there, where they just got stunned. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
On the bottom right. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
That player gets stunned, and then the defender runs away from him. That actually would have been a good pass option because the defender had the momentum of going backwards, and even though that player is stunned, by the time that pass gets them, they'll be there with their hands again to catch it. So that might have been a better pass option. Cause if can you fly down and look at the defender that punched him? Because I can't tell from here if they're on the ground. Yeah, so they're not even after they stun them. Yeah, they float away. So they're not even if you pass that to this down to that blue person there, that defender is not only going the wrong direction to attack them, but they're also floating. So it would take them even longer. It's not like they can grab Geo or grab the floor and pull themselves back up. So in that moment, that person probably called that they were out. They don't pass to me, but realistically, that probably was the best pass option.
So on that topic of defending, what do you recommend? And you talking about on the topic of brawling, what should a defender be doing when they're sticking like in this situation, right? What should the defender be doing?
Don't float. Don't float. They punched that player out and then they backed up, but they backed up in midair, so they have no way to position change real quick. They should have backed up to stay away from that person's fist when they come back, but you should also stay like on the floor or on the boot. Like don't float away because it's too hard. It takes too long to shift, your movement speed and direction. So stick near them, but stay anchored so that they don't, send you floating out. Because if you're floating, you're useless. And if you don't have an anchor point, you're not moving very fast in a direction that you need to be moving towards, especially as a defender, when you need to move quickly to counter what they're doing. Don't float. Mm-hmm. Don't float.
Yeah, defenders need to stay anchored, even if you get the stun. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Like if the only time you should be flying is if you're flying to another location to anchor on.
So another thing about as far as positioning goes. So in this pass starts, and it looks like who's this? Yeah, the one guy, that one guy down there, ends up making the right pass here, and then Cravens does a really nice job moving backwards, recognizes there's a bad bubble, right? There are 4 defenders, 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders, and there are the blue players are here, and I believe Crazy Boy is somewhere over on this side. So Cravens actually moves back. Mm-hmm. And that ends up pulling WKZ out of the play. So that's a really good work. I think there's still a good amount of space here. So the next thing that could happen is Cravens could hold on to this just a little bit longer, force WKZ to make a committal move in, because what ends up happening is Cravens gets rid of the disc before WKZ has even hit the ground, and that allows WKZ to just hit the ground and slap and redirect. So that's one piece here, and then Cravens immediately takes a line directly toward the goal and ultimately like where defenders are. If Cravens ends up leaking out over onto this side, and the same thing for that one guy, after the stun, one guy goes this way, instead could go this way, that's going to change everything. So Crazy Boy gets the disc, and notice Cravens is here. If Cravens was over here, they would be even more open. And then again, on the bottom side, one guy gets stunned out right here, and then so they get stunned out there. They get stunned out right there, and then as the defender is floating back, they end up floating directly toward the defender. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right there. So instead, leak out to the outside, and now Crazy Boy has a pass at the extreme there, and at the extreme there, and at the extreme right there. And all of a sudden, these defenders, WKZ has got to do something, either attack Crazy Boy or go for maybe this person. And this person's going to be blocked, but this person over here, I'm getting so John Madden right now. This person over here is going to be wide open. Cravens on the other side. So there is good spread with like left, right, and center and above, but these players could even be farther out.
Yeah.
So in terms of this play, I think we're the summary for Farsight, and what we're all seeing, what we think the improvement could be. One is, like keeping better possession so that the reset can draw out someone a little closer, get them to commit a little more, right? And we can actually take a look, on this topic, we can actually take a look at a few other moments where like a bad bubble was forced. Doc, do you want to take a look at one of those, or you want to move on to the next one after this one?
Yeah, whatever you think is.
Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, let's take a look. Let's go round 2, 6 minutes and 39 seconds.
Of the same game?
Same game. So you just move it up just like 6 minutes and 29 seconds on the clock, round 2. So same one. Yeah, 29. Perfect. So if you take a look at disc holder, so move back just like, look at disc holder, go back maybe, yeah. Okay. Yeah, got a little janky.
There's a small bug with
the controller, right?
Yeah. Okay, I'm out. Okay. All right. Yeah,
it's on
a community run. So sorry, 6 what?
6 minutes and 29.
6:29.
No, 39. Sorry, I apologize. 39. 6:39. You'll see that they get a really good reset, but the reset doesn't draw a person out enough. Yeah, you'll see what I mean. So he'll get it on towards mid, I believe. Yeah, there we go. So he gets it, as you can see, right? They're both together in the reset. You see, look, he's not being pressured, and he throws, and he doesn't draw enough. So the enemy team actually has numbers advantage at the end of the day, even though blue side had possession, right?
Yep. Yeah. Every pass is an opportunity for a turnover. So if you're not being pressured to pass, it may not be the best thing for you to do. If you miss that pass, or if what happens here is that player catches it and it gets stunned almost immediately, I mean, you didn't have to do that. So you could have kept possession a little longer.
Yeah, kept possession. So the biggest thing in terms of feedback for this VOD, I think, is, again, keeping better possession. If you're not being pressured, you don't need a throw, right? And then 2 is what Doc and Gil and all that, like, talking about positioning, right? Go to, halves of the field, left, right, up, down, right? In front of, behind the goal. Like, you can go to extremes, but don't do it in such a way that you actually float towards defender. So for example, the clip that we saw at 2 minutes and change, right? Person on right boot got stunned out, but then actually moves back towards the defender. And I think that made him an unlikely pass because he moved back towards defender. So even if he got it, now he's within, like punching distance of the defender. So even as you're setting up the bubble defense, like the bubble offense, I apologize. Even as you're setting up the bubble offense, not only think about go to extremes, but think about where is the defender not, and going there.
Yeah. And that happens on this play as well. You can see, I've been running it in replay. You can see the player gets the disc and immediately goes right into the teeth of the defense and gets stolen. If instead you pull back, and go into this corner, and then maybe probably actually send the pass back, that's probably the right play here, because you still don't have any kind of striking attack. You have 2 people over here that are too clumped up, and you have multiple defenders in between. So this pass is completely blocked. So your only thing to do, as far as like offensive options is either pass back, or you're gonna like somehow style all the way forward and score. The only other option is to delay, either back this way or back this way. But seeing as how a defender is coming in, pressuring on this side, it's probably better for this player to bump into the little popcorn, the trap area, and then probably send it back to Crazy Boy for a reset, because again, as TTao said, the defense actually ends up having numbers here. If you look, there's no defenders past the middle of Bowtie, and so this player should just hang on to the disc, wait for players to get into better position, wait for this person to maybe go to the ceiling somewhere up here, this person to go maybe toward the wall over here, so like your pass options would be there, and then maybe on the ceiling, like somewhere up here. That would really spread the defense and then force them to come out. And then again, there's always going to be one pass open.
Yes. Unless they leave an open net, right? You always have someone open, and they leave an open net, then there's your opportunity.
Yep.
On the topic of talking about bubble offense, right? Let's take a look at our next community clip by Team Woohoo, submitted by Gizmo Dave. We'll take a look at that. It's the clip at 2 minutes and 39 seconds. So we'll pull that up. This is a EU team, and they're setting, their question is they're setting up for bubble offense, but it doesn't actually convert. And one of their main questions when they submitted the community VOD to us was, how do we set up bubble offense better? And I think this is actually a great transition for Gil to talk more about like bubble offense.
So 2 minutes and 39 seconds.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 39 seconds of the Gizmo Day, the Woohoo clip.
I think that was the same. Wasn't that the same
No,
timestamp
no,
of the
no.
last round we just did?
Very similar. The other one was 2 minutes and 40 seconds. They're like 1 second off.
Oh, man.
it's real close.
It's fate.
Real
All right,
close.
Here we go. All right.
It is.
This replay viewer should be
Yeah.
visible to everyone, and you guys,
Yep.
yeah, everyone's seeing it. Okay, cool.
Yep,
Yep.
everybody's seen it.
All right.
Looking good.
So
All right.
I'll do my bit. The dot call out.
Yeah.
Okay. Illuminati with the disc gets the clear. The clear is good. Stacks are racing. Oh no, Gizmo Stu gets the stun out. Gizmo Dave and Sudi Sue are there. Sudi Sue clears it through. Tommy now with the disc. Disc is bouncing low. Takes a shot. Oh, just a little bit wide. Disc now bouncing out. Illuminati holds it. Sends it down in. It looks like there's going to be an offensive attack. No. A little bit of a reset. Now sends it over to the left side. Yes. Oh, what a save by Disco Stew. Is that how much you want to see?
Yeah, that's the perfect sequence. Yeah, that's it. As you can see, the team is actually keeping really good possession of the disc, right? You see, they're not just taking wild shots; they're moving it up, and the question is, at the end of the day, we did have someone that was attacking the bubble, right? But they weren't set up where they had a lot of cut options or anything like that. So let's take a look at their positioning, setting up for that. I know there's like a lot of turnovers that lead up to it, but once they have possession, let's take a look at the position right before the shot attempt. And I would love to hear from Giligin, what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I'm. Man, that long three was so close. Go
So I
forward
guess,
some more.
yeah,
They're not.
From right here,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, right around there. Yep. That's when they're gonna
Let's-
start having more
Can
possession.
you show me from the like near the top of goal, looking out?
So I'll
Yeah.
highlight all the blue players. And
That
we'll
is a
just-
super cool feature.
I know, right?
That's really cool. All right, can you point the camera down a little more? I don't care about the guys in the back. I just want to see up here in the bubble. Yeah. So there's one back by Trench. There's one with the disc right now, and that's the back pass. Okay. And they've got the two coming in over here. One down by Boot. Okay. It's okay. Back up to where the person who shot the disc gets the disc. And then pause it.
Go back maybe like a few more seconds. They'll get it on the right side wall from orange perspective.
It's right.
They'll recover.
No,
Oh,
right, yeah, right here.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So so there's no one bothering the goalie, and this person just grabs the disc and takes the shot. The goalie's gonna catch that. They don't spend a lot of time. They're not trying to fake the goalie out by a fake throw and then throwing. They're not bouncing it off the backboard. They're just turning and throwing it straight in from that far away. I think most goalies would be able to catch that. So what should have happened here is you don't have numbers advantage, but this player does see the defender. All three of the defenders are right there, pretty close to each other, and two of them are moving towards the disc holder. So they probably felt like they had to get rid of the disc quickly, and they turned and saw the goal and shot it. But the goalie's there. So what probably would have been a better thing to do here would be to just hold on to the post and either back away because you don't have a numbers advantage yet, even though, you know, it's just you and the goalie, that's not really an advantage when you're that far away from the goalie. Or pass it back out to that star diamond block, whatever you want to call it. I think the EU calls it star. That reset position farthest out, and wait for your teammates. That's a good time for reset. You want to send the reset, let your teammates get into a good position around the bubble. You know, post, shoulder, clock, wherever is spread out, like we were talking about earlier on you know, it's a 3D map. Use all 3 dimensions: left, right, top, bottom, forward, backwards, even behind the goal, in front of the goal, and move around. You want to keep the defenders off you. If the defenders are chasing you, you need to be moving or winning that brawl against them to give yourself an open lane. But this is just rushed, is all this is. Like, the post position's good. You know, it took them a second they had the disc, they had the open pass there, but the shot should not have happened. That needs to be more patient. Get more of your people in the bubble and more of their people out of play. So that would have been a perfect time for a reset, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love it. And backing it out, I think you see that same basic, like, too rushed tendency. If you notice, we have Tommy, the defender, guarding 2 different players here. And as the pass goes in, the passer is hurried, and it looks like DCB comes toward the passing player. If DCB, instead of going toward the passing player, cuts to the double diamond as a reset, then when Illuminati picks it up, and you can see they're immediately under pressure from this defender here. If DCB is planted here, then there's a really easy soft reset to the double diamond area. So that's one. And then again down here, you have Sudi Sue and Gizmo Dave, and Sudi Sue kind of gets to one spot and then hangs out. If Sudi Sue continues to move this way, then that becomes another option as a pass there. So Illuminati ends up sending this striking pass in and starts this kind of attack in a bad bubble. But instead, Sudi Sue and DCB could have been 2 soft reset areas. There's another opportunity as well. The pass does actually get connected, and Gizmo Dave actually does make a really nice pass back to Sudi Sue. But Sudi Sue immediately jumps forward and starts this attack in. Sudi Sue really here should be receiving this pass and staying here. Because if Sudi Sue hangs out, again, there's no defender. All the defenders are in the bubble. You've got 4 defenders in the bubble, including the goalie, and all 4 blue players are outside of the bubble, so you do not have an attacking striking position. If Sudi Sue gets this disc here and allows then the players to reset, maybe Gizmo Dave here goes onto this wall. Maybe Illuminati ends up going to the post. That's a good spot. And then maybe DCB like either hangs out on the pack or maybe on the floor over here. Then now you can get a situation where you've got players crossed, right, on the walls on the sides, and then force one of these defenders to come out to stop the disc, and then force these other players to guard there and there. And then now you make your pass over here, and then now you move forward, and then now everyone else moves forward underneath the goal. So then you can kind of shift. So now you have a player here. Let's say you keep your player here. Let's say you keep a player here, and then the passer ends up going over here and is now here. Now again, you're going to rotate, and so the defense has to come out and put on a defender over there. Maybe this defender stays here, and then maybe one of the other defenders goes to the floor over here. Now this pass is open, and so now the pass can swing over here, and you can do it again, and maybe do that 2 or 3 times until eventually you're going to get a break in the bubble.
Something that we haven't really considered yet and may have played a factor into this is the blue team is down by 7 points with only 2 minutes left on the clock. They may have been feeling the time crunch there because they need at least 3 goals, maybe 4, to catch back up. So it's possible that they didn't feel like they had time for a reset and a patient play like that. But ideally, the reset is what should have happened.
And even if the reset takes a few extra seconds, I think it increasing the conversion rate, rather than them taking that 1v1 from post, like shooting it from post, that's not the highest conversion shot. So here's sort of my question, sort of the theme of today, which is numbers advantage, right? What I'm hearing is you really want to, especially if you're the reset, draw out the enemy so that you have that numbers advantage going into bubble. Question for Gil then, like when you count in terms of, like how do you make those split-second numbers advantage in game? Do you just count them? Like, how do you decide whether you have a good bubble or a bad bubble?
That's that magic thing that I think a lot of players just refer to as arena sense. Your sense of the game. You gotta, your sense of, you should always know where your teammates are. They should be calling their positions at all times, whether they're open or not, and where they are, or their intent, because there is a comms delay because of latency of the internet. Calling your position, so you should always know where your teammates are, but then at the same time, you should have a pretty good idea of where the enemy is. And if you're the reset person, you should be able to see all 4 of the bad guys, right? All 4 of your opponents should be within your view. So as soon as one comes out, then my people are in position, and I just pulled 1 or 2 people out. That means we have the numbers advantage. Like, I'm not counting 1 to 4 in my head necessarily, but just being aware of where everyone is my team in the better position in this moment, or in this second, I guess. This is a fast game.
Can you give some examples of callouts from the team about positioning and intent? What does that sound like?
So, for example, if you've got someone on clock, which is, the tube 1 above the backboard, if you have someone sitting up there, it may be a really good pass option, but at the same time, that person is also in a good position to go stun the goalie. And so if they're going to do that, they need to communicate that so that they don't have that pass coming at them because their teammate didn't know what they were about to do. Like, I'm on clock, I'm open, and then if you decide it'd be more advantageous for me to go stun the goalie, then you need to call that before you do it. I'm gonna go stun the goalie, don't pass to me. You want to keep the comms short and efficient so that you don't take up the airspace. But what the messages that you want to get across is, do not pass to me. I'm about to go stun the goalie, because by the time they hear that, it's been a second since you said it. So if you say it as you're doing it, it's too late and they may have already passed you. But if you're gonna go punch the goalie, say, I'm gonna go punch the goalie, get ready to shoot, and then you do it. And then by the time they hear that, that's when they see you doing it, is they hear that. Does that make sense? Otherwise, they hear you say it after you start moving, and they may have already thrown the pass at you. So that's an example.
Yeah, I'm just hearing that because of comms, that like, communicate your intent, say what you're gonna do before you actually do it, so that your team can coordinate better.
Yeah, that's one issue you have to remind people of sometimes when they get frustrated that you didn't do what they called. It's like, you have to realize there's a comms delay. Like, you may have said that, and then you thought that I ignored you and did something else, but what actually happened was I heard that as I was already doing the other thing, because there is a delay in the comms. So when you're talking about comms delays and positioning and stuff, you want to call your intent, not what you're doing in the moment, but what you're getting ready to do.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely key. I think that's what separates like really good comms from like subpar comms. Like, just saying red, 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 like as you mentioned in the beginning, it's like red, 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 red. Like, that's not, I mean, yeah, thanks, I appreciate it. I heard it the first 4 times, but it's like, instead going like, oh, red, open pass left side, or something like that.
Yep.
Like, it's like there's a communicating the intent can definitely up the level of the game and the teamwork.
Yep. And then, if you're already moving, then you want to call, if you're going to Pac-Man, for example, then you want to call, I'm open on Pac, maybe a second before you actually get to Pac, because then by the time they hear that, that's your position. So maybe not even always just what you're going to do, but where you're going to be if you're already moving.
Yeah, where you're going to be. Awesome. Yeah, no, that's really cool. I don't think that happens enough, right? People are just saying like, what I see the most, especially in like pub, is like, open on nest. I throw, I was like, where are you? Where'd you go? It's like, you're just out in the ether somewhere.
Yeah, it's especially bad in pubs because you don't know what kind of ping you're playing with. Like when you play a VRML match, everyone's in the same region and everyone's on a server that everyone agreed on, so your ping is going to be fairly consistent and you know what it's going to be. But yeah, pubs are all over the place, so you might have someone with 100 ping telling someone with 30 ping that, I'm on Nest, but by the time that they've received that call, they've moved on.
Yeah. Awesome. I think that covers the analysis of this portion. Doc, is there anything else you want to add before we move into the next segment?
Well, we've got L tents in about 10 minutes rolling on, so we do need to close it down for this show. But Gil, it's been great talking with you about the art of the stun, and then breaking down some of these community VODs. Oh great, Farsight. Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you picked out some good stuff. So yeah, if you want your team to have your VOD, your Echo Replay file analyzed, boom, hit that form up and upload your file. Give us the key thing is help us help you, right? What are your questions? What do you want us to focus on? You can just submit a whole file and we can try and pour through it. But the best way to do it is to make our job easy, which is to say, hey, at this timestamp, round 1, 232, this happens and I didn't know what to do, or this always happens to my team and it's something we're working on. Could you help us out? So we want to bring our analysis to the things that you guys are already working on and care about, and so that'll be a big help to us, and also one of the differentiators of once we start getting a lot more submissions, we'll definitely be selecting based on folks who are bringing a little bit of pre-thinking to it. So please submit your VODs, share the video, let us know if you've got feedback, let us know how we can improve the show, and but yeah, TTao, anything you want to say before we let Gil close us out, maybe?
Yeah. I want Gil to close us out for sure. I just want to wrap up sort of this entire thing. I took down some really big, some notes that I think are really important. A few things that Gil was talking about, I think everybody should take away from this. One is blocking before and after handling the disc. Just get into the habit of muscle memory. You throw, block, right? You're about to recover the disc, block before you recover it. Just get into that habit. As you're working your brawling skills, keep in the back of your mind that your whole job is to be a support and to give numbers advantage for your team. If you can get a leech, then further get into play, fantastic. It's not just about you fighting this dude because this dude pissed you off. It's about giving that numbers advantage for your team so that your team can succeed because of your brawl, not just because you want to fight this dude for 30 seconds in the backfield one-on-one just to see who's better, right? It's that numbers advantage. And talking about numbers advantage in terms of pushing into bubble, don't push into the defender, go around them, right? And then if there is a bad bubble, get that reset. And if you get that reset, make sure you keep possession so that then you can draw out a defender. So now you have numbers advantage going into bubble. Don't force the bad bubble. And as Doc was talking about, Gil was talking about, get that soft reset, right? Pass back from post to star, even though it's right next to each other. But hey, that dude's open, he's available, bring him into play, right? Get that numbers advantage moving in. I think if teams, and also the last point is, especially because of comms delay, right? Communicate your intent of where you're gonna be, what you're gonna do, so that you're letting your team know. If everybody that's watching this show, right, communicate your intent, block before and after handling a disc, focus on numbers advantage for bubble offense and defense, man, I can't imagine people don't improve their game just from these points alone.
Yeah, two things that I actually wanted to bring up that I forgot about up to this point. One, so in basketball, and one is when you get the shot and the foul, right? In Echo, I always call and one if I get the shot and the stun. So if I throw the disc, bounce it off backboard and punch the goalie and it goes in, or if the goalie jumps me and I get the shot and I shield and they stun themselves on my shield, I always yell and one for that. That's something I've noticed my teammates doing more and more. So just spread that around because it's a lot of fun to call that after it happens. And then for another bruising tip, when you're in the arena, I'm gonna have to get up weird. Stand back here. Here we go. Most people float around, their arms are hanging down, and that's a long distance to shield. If you keep your arms bent at all times, you can shield a lot faster. I'm pretty sure if you know Wit, I'm pretty sure Wit plays like that. He's one of my favorite people to play against because he's a monkey and he's really hard to fight. as a bruiser, but I'm pretty sure he plays with his hands up here, and he can just shield like super fast. So keep your hands up closer to your shield so that it's less time. You have, you don't have to have that full second. You can do it in, quarter second or whatever. Yeah. Are we closing out now?
Yeah, I think we're about to close out. One more comment though. Phenom has mentioned it too. Like shield on your chin, not on your face. Oftentimes I see people shielding here. I don't know why. I've seen it. Like
right,
I've seen it. Right? Yeah. Shield low. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then before we close out, I definitely want Gil to have some time to just plug whatever you want to plug. And again, we'll also talk about L's show in 5 minutes.
So check out all the stuff we do. There's the social links in the chat right there. Check us out on all the socials. It's particularly watch our Twitch channel, this one right here, and check us out on our Discord so you can see our full schedule. We have an About Viridis channel. It's got our descriptions and schedule for all the shows. Level Up with Lentil is happening in the next few minutes here, right before we go off air, and that's Lentil plays games, and you get to hang out with her while she plays games. Tonight she's playing No Man's Sky, which is one of my favorite games. It's one I come back to every 6 months and play again because it's so awesome. And they're still updating it. She's playing a new update thing they've got for it. I haven't played it in a while. I don't know what it's about. But yeah, so check out Level Up with Lentil tonight. Tomorrow is Frontline Gaming with 5-Spot. Basically the same thing, except 5-Spot plays first-person shooters. He likes to play a lot of Destiny 2. He was playing through a Russian apocalypse game that I can't remember what it was called. Oh, man. I don't remember what it's called. No. I don't know. He might be playing that again tomorrow. I don't really know what he's planning on doing. But, yeah, it's dope stuff. And if you want to see the rest of the schedule, join us in Discord. Link's right there in the chat. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching Playmakers. We'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Viridis Media. So long, everybody.
Absolutely. So long, everybody. Stick around for L's show coming up next.